If you are tired of seeing criminals get away with murder, tired of hearing excuses for the wicked, then it's time to take action. Hit that subscription button now and stay in the loop with the Jamaica Young Police channel. We are not here to sugarcoat. We are here to expose the truth, bring justice, and make sure the real heroes get the recognition they deserve. Don't wait for the change. Be the change. Subscribe, like, and let's make some noise and hold those criminals accountable. Justice in action. Speak up. Crime must fall. And remember that we have go inside the description box and you'll see various links to various things for the Jamaica Young Police channel. JamaicaYoungPoliceChannel.com, where you see articles and stuff like that. Those who like to read, and we continue to give you guys exceptional material over here. So, moving on. Yes, welcome to the Jamaica Young Police channel. To our loyal viewers, subscribers and Patreon member. At the channel, we are a group of law-abiding citizens who believe in the rule of law and respect the rights of every citizen, but not the ones who do not subscribe to such behavior. We do believe in and support preemptive strikes because they save lives. This is a logical conclusion because preemptive strikes save lives and prevent the further loss of lives. We are all about saving lives at this channel. We at the channel aid criminals with a passion and do not want them over here. We do not want your views, your subscriptions, your likes or your comments. Please go elsewhere where the red carpet is waiting for you. Over here, we want you to go to prison or the departure lounge at Madden. Moving on to today's video. Yo, if you are tired of seeing criminals get away with murder, tired of hearing excuses for the wicked, then it's time to take action. Hit that subscription button now and stay in the loop with the Jamaica Young Police channel. We are not here to sugarcoat. We are here to expose the truth, bring justice, and make sure the real heroes get the recognition they deserve. Don't wait for the change. Be the change. Subscribe, like, and let's make some noise and hold those criminals accountable. Justice in action. Speak up. Crime must fall. And remember that we have go inside the description box and you'll see various links to various things for the Jamaica Young Police channel. JamaicaYoungPoliceChannel.com, where you see articles and stuff like that. Those who like to read, and we continue to give you guys exceptional material over here. So, moving on. Yeah, most people in life, if you want to make enemies, just tell them the truth. As you know, I'm Jamaican, born and bred in the belly of the beast. And this is not about me, this is about us as a people. So right now you're looking at two Jamaicans, yeah man. These convicted Jamaicans who are deported to Jamaica were cultured to think crime is fashionable. Wrong, only a yard on Jamaica alone, crime is fashionable. In America and other countries, crimes are not fashionable. Them punish you. And that's how these men now end up being deported to Jamaica. You understand? So, both men, if you go to the US immigration website, you see the man, them eyes on them, just plaster them photograph all over. But would I love the American government, yeah man, for have a website for sure all of the Jamaican them were convicted for crimes and deported. So no misunderstanding with the Jamaican people. And as a learned person, I'm going to write the President of the United States and make that suggestion, because there are so many convicted criminals from various who are parading themselves in Jamaica as law-abiding citizens, when these are people who have spent time in foreign prisons. So you understand what I'm saying. And when them go to prison, most of the time them play with them. I mean, that's how it go. So two Jamaicans convicted of kidnapping and murder are now in custody of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement awaiting deportation. I said that. I don't know what kind of name is this. Nascimento, Blair, 44, entered the United States of America as a non-immigrant on March 4, 2004 and violated the terms of his admission. So I'm saying come on a visa, I'm never come to live. It said the Mount Vernon Police Department in New York arrested Blair for first degree kidnapping on October 12, 2005, a crime for which he was convicted and sentenced to 15 years in prison. I said immigration judge ordered Blair removed from the U.S. on August 4th, 2008. He come from Jamaica, come to America in all the papers, and he come and start commit crime. Because that I eating him DNA. Not his fault still though, you know. This is something that imparted to us by the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization. If you are from a PMP community and you have sons, 98% of them are destined to go to prison. Because that's the culture of the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization. I could have vexed to come home and also found a vex because I like fear the truth, but if I don't tell you, no one else is gonna do it, because most of the people them were who are commentators on YouTube, they are just hustlers. They now tell you the truth and tell you which part of the problem lies and how to fix it. And people are like fear the truth, but I am going to always tell you. That's why I'm not being liked, but I just saw it go. Remember, truth tellers are not lauded, revered and celebrated in Jamaica. You have to be somebody who is anti-police and poor criminals. So after Blair now, the judge said they must remove him. Him now no papers, him now no green card and nothing. Blair filed an appeal with the Board of Immigration. Appeal, but the board dismissed his appeal on November 6, 2008. I said the New York State Department of Correction released Blair on parole on April 9, 2020, and he was arrested on July 16, 2024. So this man come out, him now no papers, and them release him on parole. What kind of madness that? So them to communicate with each other, the various government agencies. They're not supposed to communicate with immigration to make them know, so boy, this man supposed to be deported, so him should have gone back to Jamaica from 2020. So I said the other Jamaican national, Neville, Leary, Heslop, 67, entered the United States as a lawful permanent resident on August 18, 1984. Heslop was convicted of homicide in New Jersey on November 1st, 1991 and sentenced to 30 years in prison. So him come from Jamaica with him badmanism, and when him come here, and when him do, I kill somebody. Him not even, so more or less, I don't know under what circumstances him kill the person, and I have to do some research about that, and him get 30 years. That's the thing now we have with liberalism. Liberalism is a mental disease, yeah. I mean, it's a mental disease because a man for kill a man, you give him 30 years. He's supposed to get the death penalty. That's the reason why Vibes Cartel got moving to Florida. Because him say you kill him, I death penalty, you get down here. You understand? Him know say man dead one day, but him don't want nobody kill him. He want dead from grave disease, You understand? So ICE said an immigration judge ordered Heslop removed from the United States on June 14th, 1996, and that he filed an appeal with the Board of Immigration, which was dismissed on April 23rd, 1997. So that he makes sense. Why sense you go file an appeal and say them are, because you're not a citizen, you're a green card holder. Why you go tell like after you kill a man, after you kill who you kill, you're supposed to say you get 30 years, you go back your yard. So Heslop was arrested on April 23rd, 2021 upon his release from local custody. Jamaica would not grant a travel document while he filed a motion to reopen his appeal. So ICE released him on an order of supervision. I said in a statement added that Heslop was arrested by New York City authorities on February 4th, 2025. But why the Jamaican government, why they never process the man document? Should they not want him back on them thing there? Well, them could have sent him to El Salvador. So the debt dealers deported inside the blood-soaked trail of two Jamaican killers coming home to a criminal paradise. So Jamaica, the land of food of water and warm welcome for convicted murderers. In a country where criminals are treated like celebrities, where the justice system bends for dons and the youth idolize gunmen, 2 blood-soaked killers are about to return to what many now call the criminal's paradise. But it's out to change now to the criminal's nightmare, I mean. Yeah, man. So welcome to the reality. Jamaica has become the Caribbean deportee dumping ground. And the latest arrivals are not ordinary deportees. They are convicted killers, hardened by decades in US prisons, and now unleashed back into the streets of a country that never stopped glorifying the gangster life. So the system that breed killers. Before we get into the detail of Nascimento, Blair and Neville, Heslop, we must first understand the engine of destruction that produced them. Jamaica isn't merely failing to fight crime, it's worshipping it. From the ghetto to the gala, from parliament to popular music, the message is clear. Killers are kings. Yes, in Jamaica, killers are kings. But not anymore, because we have a prime minister who understand the thing now. At one point in time, he used to be naive, I tell you that, but him wake up, so we give him thanks, him come to Jesus moment. Criminals are no longer hiding in the shadows. They are dancing on stages, running community centers, and even getting diplomatic passports. Our nation once proud of Marcus Garvey and Bob Marley and Usain Bolt. Oh, yeah, Usain Bolt, because I'm just with all of him, him just with him mad self and them thing, they go align himself with Mark, gonna be a goal in and killer of him poor pa, and him pa is a big labor right. How if you do that? You eat that, you come from a country. Not because you love the Gaza business, you love the carousing behavior. For you say Sean Paul wife did this, but nothing wrong with that. Still, I just saw it go. How you mean? You understand? You stick with Chris Gale, the man, you understand? The man that come from the ghetto, right with them man, yeah, boy, Gaza, me say. You can't say I'm like a dummy. But anyway, moving on. So, our nation, as we said before, Marcus Garvey, Bob Marley, yeah man, Edward Siaga is now exporting drug lords and importing their victims' despair. Jamaica's transformation into a criminal paradise wasn't accidental, it was engineered. Politicians weaponized gunmen in the 1970s to win votes. By the time the 2000 roll around, dons had become local rulers, and the rule of law a joke. Many of our young men, with no guidance, no hope, and no heroes other than dancehall dons and gang bosses, ended up abroad, only to bring their twisted moral compass with them. Nascimento, Blair, the wolf in Mount Vernon. So let's talk about Nascimento, Blair. I don't know what kind of name. I must junk for him parents, him junk. A name that should send chills down your spine. He landed in the United States on March 4th as a non-immigrant, supposedly there for a better life, but instead of seeking opportunity, Blair brought his Jamaican brood criminal mindset to Mount Vernon, New York. Barely 18 months after arriving, he was arrested on October 12, 2005 for first-degree kidnapping. A crime so heinous, it sent him to prison for 15 years. And here's where it gets worse. An immigration judge tried to kick him out in 2008. What Blair did what most seasoned Jamaican criminals do. He fought it, he appealed, he delayed, he played the system like a violin. But finally, after his appeal was tossed out in November 2008, the path was clear. Deport him. Yes, it took 15 more years, 15, before ICE got their hands back on him in July 2024. He had already been paroled by the New York Department of Corrections in 2020. Free to roam, free to possibly reoffend. And now Blair is heading back to Jamaica, a land he left as a man and now returned to as a trained predator. What awaits him in Jamaica? Not scorn, not shame, but possibly a red carpet from criminals who admire him for surviving Babylon prison system. So I talk which big prison him go, cause I saw them, that's how them operate in Jamaica. Yeah, him got a big prison. And man, I say, boy, this a prison bigger than that the prison. I don't know how them come by them thing there, but that is how man boast. So you know, as a Jamaican, well, living in America or living in foreign, you never got a prison. When them people attack, you can't talk. And I say, you never got a prison yet. Yeah. This is a foreign thing to you. You're a baby. You rather stay a baby, so and I prison business rasta, believe you me. So Neville Heslop, a killer, returned after 40 years. Yeah, man. And then there is Neville Larry Heslop, a man who's age 67, belies the horrors of his past. He came to the US from Jamaica legally in 1984 as a lawful permanent resident, a green card holder. But instead of building a life, he destroyed one. In 1991, he was convicted of homicide in New Jersey and handed a 30-year sentence. That should have been the end of the story. But again, the slow gear of immigration law allowed Heslop to fight his deportation order from 1996 to 1997 until the Board of Immigration Appeals finally dismissed it. Still, it wasn't until 2021, 3 decades after his crime, that ICE got him back into custody. And even then, guess what happened? Jamaica refused to take him here. They wouldn't issue traffic documents. Why? Because in Jamaica, especially for someone like Heslop, being a convicted killer doesn't qualify you to get a passport while you are appeal. Them want you stay and say them can keep you in America. Being a convicted killer doesn't disqualify you. It qualifies you for reverence in some communities. ICE had to release him under supervision. A man who took a life, allowed to roam freely under the watch of a broken system. And now after he was rearrested by New York City authorities in February 2025, it seems Jamaica will finally take him back. What does this mean? Another murderer, age and season, is returning to a Jamaica that hasn't healed but gotten sicker. So here's the part no one wants to say out loud. Jamaica is not prepared for these men. Not socially, not legally, not psychologically. We have no rehabilitation programs for deported killers, no structured reintegration, no halfway houses, nothing. They arrive at Norman Manley International Airport or Sangster, handed a plane ticket, a change of clothes, and sometimes less than 100 US. Then what? Back to the same garrison, back to the same friends or worse, back to gangs looking for made men who earn their stripes in foreign prison. The deportees often become mentors, not for good but for evil. They teach young criminals new tactics, how to outwit police, how to handle international shipments, how to exploit legal loopholes. Blair and Heslop may have been off the streets for years, but their knowledge, their stories and their scars will find eager ears in the ghetto of Kingston, Spanish Town, Montego Bay and rural Jamaica. In Jamaica today, the line between criminality and celebrity is almost non-existent. From Don Dada to world boss, from extortionists to gun runners, our people sing their praises, paint their murals and flood social media with hashtag in their defense. Murderers have become martyrs and gangsters are now regarded as gods. This warped sense of heroism has rotted the nation's soul. What will happen when Blair and Heslop return? They might be quiet or they just might find influence. Either way, there's a deadly silence in the government's response. No statement from the Minister of National Security, no plan from the Commissioner of Police, no legislation from Parliament to ensure these killers are monitored or even tracked. Just more whispers and shrugs. So here we are, a nation that exports its best and imports its worst. A nation that once birthed revolutionaries now rears rogues. And as Blair and Heslop step back onto Jamaican soil, ask yourself, who's next? How many more killers are on their way? armed with a lifetime of vengeance and ready to reclaim a place in a society that no longer know right from wrong. The time for silence is over. The time for pretending Jamaica is just a little island is gone. We are a war zone wearing a smile. A tourist destination masking a murder epidemic. And if the people don't rise up to demand real change, then this paradise will remain forever lost to the criminals who call it home. So, crime in Jamaica is no longer just a scourge. It's a brand. And who build that brand? The PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization. A political machine that, since 1972, weaponized criminality to win elections, rule communities, and silence opposition. They fed, clothed, and armed thugs, not to fight for justice, but to kill for politics, to maim for vote, to extort for power. And in the process, they sold Jamaica's soul. What started as community leadership quickly turned into garrison terrorism. The Dons become de facto MPs, the bad man became the role model, and the gun became the gospel. The real scam against black people wasn't slavery. This time, it was convincing them that being a killer brings status, that robbing, raping, and murdering are rites of passage for manhood, that prison is a badge of honor, that silence is strength, and loyalty to the Dons is worth more than life. Let's be clear. Jamaica has criminalized decency and glorified deviance. The young boy who goes to school is a fool or a nerd. The one who pick up the gun and earn a name on the street is a real man. That is the legacy of the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization. That is the inheritance they gave our people: death, destruction, and delusion. How do you scam an entire race? You do it slowly. You do it with music, with media, with slogans like poor people fed up, and you do it with lies. The PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization, with its roots in socialist rhetoric and garrison politics, makes victimhood fashionable. They taught the masses to blame everyone but the real enemy, their real leaders. While black boys were handed guns in jungle and Rima, the children of the elites were handed scholarships and passports. While the Dons were driving BMWs and commanding tariffs, their political benefactors were flying first class to London and Geneva. They told ghetto youths to burn Babylon while signing IMF deals. They said fight the system while building mansions in Cherry Gardens. They promised jobs but deliver coffins. They cried about human rights while their gunmen silenced witnesses and burned women and children in houses. And what did they leave behind? Over 1,400 murders every year. 80% of all homicides in Jamaica go unsolved. Children growing up in communities where they have never seen a man work legally. An entire generation that think Vive Cartel is an era and Marcus Garvey is a boring history lesson. This is the ultimate betrayal. A war not just on the police or the state, but on the minds of the poor. Jamaica's criminal culture, from dancehall to deadly killing. Music is a heartbeat of Jamaica, and that heartbeat has flatlined. Dancehall used to be a rebellion, expression, poetry of the people. Now, it's a recruiting tool for dance, anthems of genocide, playlist of perversion, songs that glorify ramping with chopper lifestyle, scamming, body count tallies, and shooting ups in the head. Look around. Who are our icons? Murderers on appeal, scammers with gold chain, drug dealers, gunmen turned artists. And the message is always the same. The system not real, so kill for survive. In a covert manner. But what they don't say is this. Every youth who pick up a gun becomes disposable. The dons don't care. The politicians don't care. The system was never built to save them, just to use them and then replace them. If you die, your name lives on in a music for 3 weeks, then you are forgotten. Meanwhile, the people you fought for go back to sipping NSC and living safe behind security gates. This is the criminal culture, a cycle of lies, blood, betrayal and glorified genocide of Jamaica's own black youth. Now we turn to Nascimento, Blair and Neville Heslop. When they landed in Kingston, who's waiting for them? Not the police, not social workers, but men who want to hear their prison stories, who want them to join the next extortion ring, the next contract killing, or maybe even run for local leadership in a garrison control constituency. You have a whole heap of convicted drug dealer who are councillor in St. James. They are returning not to condemnation, but to coronation. This is Jamaica's departure lunch. Not for tourism, but for terrorism. Once you graduated from Rikers or Trenton State Prison, you become a don in waiting. You are seen as a seasoned, as hardened, as experienced in survival. And it's thanks to a country where the garrison replaced government, the dons replaced fathers, the guns replaced education. And worse, the people have been trained to accept it. This is not just a crime story, it's a cultural eulogy. Jamaica has betrayed the very people it claims to love. It has abandoned morality, sacrificed the youth and soul, the soul of the nation for a few years of political power. The PNP LGBTQ plus criminal organization should hang their heads in shame. Every politician who empower gunmen should be held to account. Every citizen who cheered for a killer, every DJ who promoted a murderer anthem, and every parent who turned a blind eye must now wake up. Because the deportees are coming, the guns are already here, and the culture is so broken that even truth is now seen as treason. But it's not too late. It starts with education, with fathers, with leadership. It starts with the kind of Jamaica that tells its youth, your strength is in your mind, not in your trigger finger. And it starts with honesty, decency, morality, ethics, and truthfulness. Not until we start to embrace all of these things. It has to be taught in school. We cannot depend on the parents to teach the children these things when the parents themselves are immoral, indecent, unethical, and immorality. They are morally bankrupt. These are the same people who will demonstrate against the security force for bringing down the murder rate for $1,500. Let that sink in. We're not talking US, we're talking Jamaican. $1,500. That's how licky our people are. Have yourself a beautiful day. And Neville and Nascimento, you better behave yourself. A different Jamaica you come back to. Have yourself a beautiful day. Jamaica Young Police Channel out.